Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And today we're going to be looking at Safe Night LLC.
Okay.
And they have kind of a fascinating approach, I think, to community safety
Yeah.
that goes beyond just traditional law enforcement
Right.
and really emphasizes building relationships and understanding.
Yeah, they kind of use this really interesting combination of data analysis
Yeah.
and techniques that you'd normally find in counseling psychology
Oh,
to
wow.
address a wide range of community
So
challenges.
it's almost like they're treating community safety as a matter of
Yeah,
building trust and rapport. Kinda
exactly.
to help us unpack all this, we have this huge stack of articles
Wow.
and research on Safe Night and their methods.
Okay,
Um, let's start with the founders,
sure.
Molly C. Mastores and Dimitrios Mastores.
Okay.
They seem to have a really interesting blend of backgrounds.
They do. Molly have a background in counseling, and Demetrios has experience in both law enforcement and public policy.
Oh, wow.
So you see that diverse expertise reflected in Safe Night's mission.
And what is that mission?
So their mission statement is to facilitate the co-production of public safety with community and municipal stakeholders through proactive relationship building, multidisciplinary approaches, and public-private collaboration.
So it sounds like they're all about breaking down silos and bringing
Yeah.
different groups together.
Definitely.
But how do they actually put this into practice?
One of the key elements of their approach is something called the Proactive Alliance Relationship-Based Approach,
Okay.
which Molly developed, and it's essentially a training program for law enforcement and other community stakeholders.
Interesting. So it sounds like they're trying to equip people with the skills to build relationships and understand the communities they serve
Yeah,
on like a deeper level.
exactly. The
Okay.
Proactive Alliance training has two main stages.
Okay.
The first stage focuses on helping officers understand themselves as agents of change. This involves a lot of self-awareness work.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like laying the groundwork for effective communication and empathy.
So it's not just about teaching them techniques.
Right.
It's about helping them develop the right mindset first.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the second stage is where they get into the practical relationship building skills.
Uh-huh.
And they draw from a lot of different counseling psychology techniques like
Right.
motivational interviewing and cognitive reframing
Okay.
to help officers engage with the community in a more productive way.
So it's about working with people, not against them.
Oh.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So instead of being purely reactive,
Right.
they're trying to be more proactive and preventative.
Exactly. And this ties in with another key element of the proactive alliance approach,
Okay.
which is productive empathy.
Productive empathy.
Yeah.
What exactly does that
It is.
mean?
It's
sounds like-
about approaching community engagement with a non-judgmental and supportive attitude.
Okay. Mhm.
They're still upholding the law,
Uh-huh.
but they're doing it in a way that encourages positive behavior and builds trust.
So it's not just about being sympathetic.
Right.
It's about understanding where people are coming from
Right.
and using that understanding to guide your interactions.
You got it.
Gotcha.
And this approach seems particularly effective when you combine it with data analysis.
So they're not just relying on intuition and good intentions.
Right.
They're actually using data to inform their strategies.
Yeah. Right. SafeNight incorporates something called risk terrain modeling, or RTM, into their approach.
Okay.
And RTM analyzes environmental factors that contribute to crime,
Okay.
things like lighting, building density, the proximity of certain businesses.
So instead of focusing on specific individuals or groups, they're looking at the bigger picture
Exactly.
and trying to understand the underlying causes of crime.
Exactly. It's about understanding the context.
Gotcha.
And by combining this data analysis with their relationship building approach, SafeNight is able to develop really targeted and effective solutions.
Okay.
One of the areas where they've seen a lot of success is in nightlife management.
Okay.
They've created this voluntary bar and restaurant accreditation model that encourages businesses to adopt safer practices.
Oh, that sounds interesting. What exactly does that involve?
It involves training staff, improving security measures, and creating a more welcoming and inclusive environment.
Okay.
They have programs like the Copper Star certification in Dallas, Gold Bar, Norfolk in Virginia, and Village Safe Spot in New York City. These programs help businesses become recognized as safe and responsible establishments.
So it's a win-win situation.
Right.
Businesses get to improve their image and attract more customers.
Yeah.
And the community benefits from a safer and more vibrant nightlife.
Exactly. That's the idea.
Gotcha.
And it really highlights SafeNight's focus on creating unified strategies.
Okay.
They work with all sorts of stakeholders, police businesses, community groups, even city planners.
Wow.
to come up with solutions that benefit everyone.
So it sounds like they're really emphasizing collaboration
Yeah,
and building bridges between different groups.
definitely.
But how do they ensure that these solutions are sustainable in the long term?
That's where their focus on problem solving comes in.
Okay.
They don't just offer quick fixes, they work with communities to develop the skills and resources they need to address the root causes of their problems.
So it's about empowering communities to take ownership
Exactly.
of their own safety and well-being.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's a key part of what makes Safe Night's approach so unique and effective.
Okay.
Instead of simply imposing solutions from the outside, they're working with communities to create lasting change from within.
It really is fascinating.
Mm.
Um, have they applied these same principles to like other community challenges
Absolutely.
beyond nightlife?
Yeah, they've had some really remarkable results addressing homelessness.
Okay.
Wichita, Kansas became the first U.S. city to formally implement Proactive Alliance to address homelessness.
Wow.
And the results have been really encouraging.
That's a really different approach than what we usually see.
Yeah.
Typically, cities focus on enforcement or displacement
Right.
rather than trying to understand like the underlying causes of homelessness.
Right. Instead of criminalizing homelessness, Safe Night worked with the city to implement a strategy that focused on building relationships with those experiencing homelessness.
Okay.
And this led to a better understanding of the challenges they face and helped to develop more effective and sustainable solutions.
So rather than just pushing the problem out of sight, they're actually trying to address it at its roots.
Exactly. And that's a key part of what makes their approach so effective.
Uh-huh.
By understanding the individual circumstances and needs of those experiencing homelessness, they're able to connect them with the appropriate resources and support.
It sounds like a very human-centered approach.
It is.
Are there other examples of how they've applied these principles to different community issues?
Definitely. They've also done some impressive work in Dearborn Heights, Michigan,
Okay.
where they use Proactive Alliance to address traffic safety concerns.
Oh, interesting.
They-
These are really inspiring examples. It really seems like Safe Night's approach is about more than just reducing crime or addressing specific problems.
Yeah.
It's about creating a culture of empathy and understanding,
Right.
and that seems to be the key to their success.
Absolutely. And it's not just about warm and fuzzy feelings.
Okay.
Their success in places like Wichita and Dearborn Heights shows that this approach can have a real impact on communities.
It definitely challenges the traditional ways of thinking about community safety.
Yeah.
It's not just about law enforcement. It's about creating an environment where everyone feels safe, supported, and empowered to thrive.
And that's why it's so important to highlight this work.
Uh-huh.
Safe Night demonstrates that there are alternative ways to address complex community challenges, ways that are more humane, effective, and sustainable in the long run.
I'm curious to hear more about how they measure the sustainability of their programs. It
Yeah.
seems like that would be a key factor in determining their long-term impact.
You're right, sustainability is critical.
Okay.
Safe Night focuses on empowering communities to take ownership of their own safety and well-being.
Uh-huh.
They don't just come in and implement a program and then leave.
Right?
They work closely with communities to build capacity transfer knowledge and ensure that the programs they implement can continue to thrive even after they're gone.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's about creating lasting change, not just temporary fixes.
Exactly. They invest in training local leaders, building partnerships, and developing systems that can be sustained by the community itself.
So they're really focused on empowering communities to become self-sufficient in terms of their own safety and well-being.
That's the goal, they believe, that lasting change can only come from within the community itself.
It's a really impressive approach. They seem to be weaving together data analysis, relationship building, and community empowerment in a way that's creating a lasting impact.
I agree. Their work is a testament to the power of collaboration, empathy, and a willingness to think outside the box.
Uh-huh.
It's a reminder that there are alternative ways to address complex social issues, ways that are more effective and sustainable in the long run.
And it's not just about theory. They're out there demonstrating that these principles can make a real difference in the lives of individuals and communities.
Right.
But I wonder, is there a potential downside to this approach? What are the challenges they face in implementing these strategies?
That's a great question. One of the biggest challenges is that this approach requires a significant shift in mindset,
Okay.
both for law enforcement and for communities themselves.
Okay.
It requires breaking down traditional silos, embracing collaboration, and trusting in a process that might feel unfamiliar or even counterintuitive at times.
So it's not just about adopting a new set of techniques. It's about embracing a whole new way of thinking about community safety.
Exactly. And that can be a difficult transition for some people. It
Yeah.
requires a willingness to let go of old assumptions and embrace new ways of working.
It sounds like it requires a lot of trust and open communication.
Absolutely. And that's why Safe Night places such a strong emphasis on building relationships.
Mm.
They understand that trust is essential for any successful collaboration.
And it's not something that happens overnight.
Right.
It takes time, effort, and a genuine commitment to working together.
You're absolutely right. Building trust is an ongoing process.
Okay.
It requires consistent effort, transparency, and a willingness to listen and learn from each other.
So it's not a quick fix. It's a long-term investment in building stronger, more resilient communities.
Exactly. And that's what makes Safe Nights work so inspiring.
Huh.
They're demonstrating that it's possible to create lasting change by focusing on the power of human connection and collaboration.
It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in creating the kind of communities we want to live in.
Yeah,
Communities where everyone feels safe, respected, and valued.
beautifully said.
It's so encouraging to see an organization like Safe Night achieving these kinds of results.
Yeah,
It makes you wonder why this approach isn't more widely adopted.
right.
What do you think are some of the barriers
Yes.
to implementing these strategies in other communities?
I think one of the biggest barriers is resistance to change,
Oh, yeah.
especially within traditional systems like law enforcement.
Uh-huh.
There can be a reluctance to move away from familiar methods,
Okay.
even if those methods aren't as effective as they could be.
So it's about challenging the status quo
Yeah.
and being open to new ways of thinking.
Exactly. It requires a willingness to step outside of comfort zones
Okay.
and embrace new approaches, even if they seem unconventional.
And that can be difficult, especially in institutions that have been operating in a certain way for a long time.
Absolutely. There can be a lot of inertia to overcome.
Yeah.
But I think the success of Safe Night's work is a powerful testament to the fact that change is possible.
Okay.
And it's not just about changing policies or procedures.
Huh.
It's about shifting mindsets and fostering a genuine commitment to collaboration and understanding.
And that takes time, patience, and a lot of dedicated effort.
It does, but the results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Safe Night is demonstrating that a more human-centered approach to community safety can lead to real and lasting change. It's a model that I think holds a lot of promise for other communities facing similar challenges.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm left with a sense of hope and inspiration.
Me too.
It's encouraging to see that there are people out there working to create safer and more vibrant communities
Yeah.
in such a thoughtful and innovative way.
I agree. Safe Night's work is a reminder that we have the power to make a difference,
Yeah.
and that even complex problems can be addressed with a combination of empathy, collaboration, and a willingness to think differently.
It's a powerful message for all of us, no matter where we live or what challenges we face.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration of Safe Night and their innovative approach to community safety. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep seeking those innovative solutions that make our communities safer and more vibrant for everyone.